Hey everybody, my name is Brandon Ross and welcome to tonight's episode of Bar20, a player-hater gaming production where myself and some friends come together over a virtual tabletop to play a fantastic tabletop role-playing game. Maybe you've heard of it. It's known as Dungeons & Dragons. But before we dig into it, I'm going to make some quick announcements. I just want to let all of you know that if you haven't done so yet, you hear me say this every week, so I'm going to make it quick. Check us out on Twitter at PlayerHaterLLC. There you can catch notifications on when we go live, when we have new projects coming your way, when we have, maybe we're going to do like a giveaway or a raffle, maybe some news updates for you. So give us a follow on there. We greatly appreciate it. Check out everything we have. Speaking of socials, we have Facebook and Instagram. Those are both just, my social media team is just absolutely on top of it. They are rocking it out, and I love them so much for everything they do. On our Facebook, Instagram, they both are just Player Hater Gaming. You can find us on both of those. About the Facebook page, you can catch this Wednesday night live stream rebroadcast every Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you can't catch us live, while we would love to see you, we understand life happens, and we will catch you on the rewatch on Sundays. If you haven't joined us in Discord yet, what are you doing? Seriously, come say hi, come join, come take part in this fantastic community we are building. We are looking for groups, members, amazing people to build this community and make it absolutely fantastic. Whether you want to share memes, talk about tabletop games, talk about life, you want to vent, you want to just come enjoy a community that has a well-rounded feeling to all aspects of these things, especially the meme factor. I am rolling pretty much every day with these things these kids and these people dig up for the meme channel in our Discord. So follow the link that my lovely mod Heat into the Leading has thrown in there. Thank you, Yeet, for being on top of that. You are ever vigilant, and I just can't thank you enough for that. If you are on a proper channel here watching us, and you can actually see the full Twitch TV screen just below me, are also links to all of these things I'm talking about, so check them out there. Outside of that, the Discord is also the place where I'll be pulling the winners for our community one-shot. So if you want a chance to come sit at the table with some of the players or some of the DMs we have here at the Player Hater Gaming table, get in the Discord and you will be drawn from that list. And I would love to have you there, because one-shots are crazy, I gotta tell you. I can't say certain names of certain characters without unleashing the wrath of some of my players in their sheer volatile laughter. If you know, you know. If not, come play a one-shot with us. We'd love to have you there. For our YouTube channel, check us out at Player Hater Gaming on there. If you can't catch us live on Wednesdays and you missed a rebroadcast, this video will go live every Sunday night at 9:15 Central Standard Time, ready to go for your viewing leisure. And we do have some lovely merch out there. It's getting cold. Got some hoodies out there that I love. I wear one every day when I go head out to the gym. It keeps me very warm in this lovely Middle Tennessee weather. I have this amazing shirt on there that I love very much. It's super comfy. I love 3/4 sleeves. We have lots of options on that, so go check it out, throw on some merch, and have fun with it. And that's all for the usual announcements. Got a pretty big announcement coming up now, but I'm going to grab my table first and just kind of say hi to them for a second.
Matches the art style really well.
Hello!
Hello!
Hi, guys!
Hi!
I'm so glad all of you are here. Have I ever just taken a moment to say I love you guys and thank you for just putting up with me as your DM? It cannot be fun. Like, I would not play for me, for sure.
He's
It
murdering
is
every
pretty
one
fun,
of us
though.
today.
Don't be mashing on all that water.
Oh, thank God I've got backup characters ready.
Yeah,
I have a couple.
all murdered.
Hold on, you guys aren't forced to be here beyond.
Quiet, Bishop. So the big announcements I have is that for some time now I've been talking about a project in the works, and I've hinted at the title, and I'm happy to announce that to all of you. Starting January 4th, Bishop and I have decided we're going to put the Hive Mind show in detention. and we will make way for the universe of D&D. This will be a Twitch live stream with myself and Mr. Bishop doing our very best to walk everyone through their first lessons of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. And I'm not going to go into a ton of detail here because I do want to get to our game today. I don't want to bore you with announcements. We will make more announcements on down the road. But it is something that will be tailored for all players at all levels of experience, and even individuals who may just want to try playing D&D. Maybe you just have questions, you don't know where to start, and that's going to be something it's going to be. It will be something that will take someone from just having questions or interest to feeling confident in playing this amazing tabletop game. So go get your school supplies, get ready, because January 4th, we'll probably have a launch time. Probably, this might change. We'll keep you updated, but probably 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on Tuesdays. Class will be in session. Your instructors, myself, Mr. Bishop, we look forward to teaching you and helping you.
Exciting.
Exciting, I know.
Cool.
When class is in session, you will only refer to me by my official title, and that is the
Okay,
Zimzu.
The Sims, what?
The Zimzu.
Yeah. Or the all-knowing Zimzu as well works. But if you're gonna say it, you can't call me the or all-knowing. You have to say the whole thing.
Oh my gosh. All right, well, before we get into the episode, let's go and do our round of help dice. If you don't know, I have this fantastic little program to where if you save your channel points and you want to use them, you can use the buttons below the channel points to give our players some help dice. Now, I do kind of limit what they can get, so there is a little bit of a restriction there, but I do like the fact that my chat can feel involved in this world. So I'm just going to go in no particular order. I'm going to start with Miss Pyre. How much help dice do you have?
I have 3. So
You
I'm
have
good.
3. All right, got you. I need to attack you more. Noted.
Do it.
More history checks. Got it.
There you go. That's where you got me.
That's it. He's figured it out. Kelvin.
I have 2. I can use 1.
Alrighty then. Snow.
Full.
Full. All right. Cathalia.
I could use just 1.
Just 1. All right. Isa, now that you actually have your own button down there.
I honestly don't know. I think I have 2, and I think that's all I need.
Okay. So you have 2. You can hold 3. Noted.
Yeah.
And Tamriel.
0.
You have 0. Oh man,
0.
you
Would we
I
expect
use
anything
mine
else?
every week. Every week I use mine.
You went
His is
ham
all
on that.
roleplay stuff.
I do use for roleplay stuff. I also use for wisdom saves.
What do you
Make
mean?
any form of charisma check. Ah, crap. I'm using
Ah,
help dice. Can I use all 3 of them in one?
No.
What do you mean a 3 fails? How dare you?
Help dice.
Hold on, is this why Tam asked to borrow my D80?
Probably. All right, I've been pretty greedy the last few episodes with taking the recap. Does anybody want to take a shot at this?
I can.
Go for it.
So, Pyre and Cathalia found this nice little cabin. They all decide to rest. Cathalia makes the go the fuck to sleep tea for Tam. He honks the fuck out. Kelvin awkwardly smiles at him and then spoons him all night.
I don't want to talk about it.
Cathalia falls asleep, dozes off, gets like astral projected, sees Jude the Dragonborn being attacked, and she freaks out, wakes everybody up. Well, she wakes up Pyre, and then they wake everybody up, has a panic attack, and then they go and they kill the things. Jude is all right. Cathalia's getting a bow. And I'm pretty sure that is the TLDR.
Are you
for the
fucking
whole
kidding
thing.
me? You talk about your bow, but you don't talk about my badass sword.
Oh yeah, was that the last episode,
Yeah,
or was it the one before?
that was the last
Oh man,
episode.
that D20's fading
Oh.
fast.
Pyre got a kick-ass great sword. Also,
See, and she didn't even need reminding.
Didn't even need reminding. You're right.
no, not at all. I could have sort of swept before, but that's my bad.
All right. Table.
Not
Not
bad.
for me.
Give it to her.
All right. Whenever you want to use this, you let me know. It expires at the close of this stream.
Can be used for anything.
It can be used for anything. Any D20 roll that involves your character directly.
Yeah, it's not like all
Alright.
this week you were talking about how badass it was. We both got our weapons.
I know, I'm so
Whatever.
happy.
You were the one who said that, not me.
Some best
Okay.
friend.
Well then,
I really am. I am the best of all best friends. Thank you very much.
we opened up tonight's episode with a lovely recap. The party is currently beginning. I believe we were just starting the making a camp sort of scene. The rain had
Yes.
seemed to have temporarily lessened. Still a bit rainy. But I believe Jude had swung open that familiar side of his rather large merchant cart and had presented to you, Cathalia, to choose your reward.
And I'll look at both of them.
There were 3.
Oh yeah, 3. I forgot. Well, the 2 cool ones, the really cool ones. She's gonna stare at the Gemini bow for about a minute, and then she's just gonna go for the lightning bow
Okay.
because she wants some magic.
The lightning bow. It's a very good choice, I see. And he kind of closes it down. He seems to have to relatch it. Oh. And seems kind of checks over his wounds. He's not bleeding anymore. He's been healed, thankful to Miss Snow's efforts. But he's definitely looking tired. And he just kind of looks over the party. Well, think I'm gonna set up camp here. You seem to have rather handedly destroyed those creatures. Very good work, I do say so myself. Very good work. Jude not as hearty as I used to be in my days.
I'm glad you're okay.
Me as well. You can watch as he kind of opens up the other side, but it kind of has this way of opening to where instead of actually opening the side, you see as he pulls 2 kind of folded in, like thick, probably like, I don't know, 4-inch diameter rods that just kind of swivel outward on each end. And then he has this tarp he just unrolls, and it makes this really neat like lean-to that comes off of the cart. He takes some time. He'll kind of undo his horses and lets them just kind of wander a bit. And you kind of, I would say, Snow, there wouldn't be a roll. Everybody else, you can roll me perception or insight real quick.
Well,
17 perception.
16.
Pyre, you're a little distracted by your the performance of your new weapon. It did really good.
Sounds about right.
I would say everybody else, you kind of notice as he kind of unbridles the horses and kind of takes everything off of them. They seem to like jaunt around a bit, but mostly they're just keeping probably within about a 30 to 40 foot range of the cart. I would say you pretty much gather, and Snow, you pretty much knows immediately how just well-mannered and I wouldn't say trained, but I would just say acclimated to Jude that the horses are.
Do they seem to be injured, agitated, stressed?
I would say that there's probably some like superficial scratches, but for the most part, you could tell that Jude was just running them hard, and they're tired for sure.
Okay. While he's working with that, I'll kind of well, I don't have that actually. Never mind. Wrong spell.
It's okay.
Wrong day.
I would say, if you want to do anything that would help, you could just roll a quick medicine. Medicine or nature.
Well, modifier's the same, so boop.
23. Wow. Quickly, you kind of take some of the bandages you have, along with kind of some of the longer straps that go with the actual rigging to keep the horses affixed to the cart. You kind of loosen that off of there, and you use the combination of these two to make like pretty much a large bandage that can go around the horse to cover the wound.
Okay.
And again, it's not like super deep or harsh, but you just know it's going to help.
Works for me.
But as all of you begin to, and I don't want to assume anything here, but if you so choose, the party may rest here. You can definitely tell Jude is going to be resting here. But the evening, no, sorry,
Mid-morning-ish?
the mid-morning is yours.
Yeah, we hadn't been
Awake that
for a
long,
while.
yeah.
long. Yeah.
Because I had to remember that Isa nailed his Constitution saving throw. He's not exhausted. Yeah.
I'm gonna go over to Isa and I'm gonna start like going through my backpack and pulling out the map that I forgot that I had until recently.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ask him if we can like compare and if I can take some charcoal and draw the things on my map. That way if something were to happen, like if we get separated or anything like that, then I would know about where to go for stuff.
You said that the weather had already subsided, right? It's no longer raining.
It's not hard rain. It's still a bit like a soft rain. You probably figure in about, say with the party conversing to each other, you probably figure probably about another 2 or 3 hours it'll just be more overcasty than anything. But right now there is still a bit of a sprinkle.
I'll hold my my cloak out open and try and cover up Cathalia's map so it doesn't get rained on or ruined.
Okay.
Fire's standing over him, looking at the maps, like, oh, okay, Shaderhead. I still don't know what any of that means. Okay.
Yeah.
You recognize parts of it. You know where you know where your hometown is. You know where the capital is. It's
Yeah.
And I figured I would
Just
have
doodles.
I figured I would have like Wymore on my map. And
On
I
yours,
would
yes.
show
I would
Claire, that's my
say
home.
you've probably at this point, being the kind of character you run, and you can stop me and correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say Cathalia would probably have marked like Rasso, Wymore, like the smaller cities that don't really get marked on this kind of map that you've run into.
Yeah, I would definitely think that she would do something like that.
Yeah, like Greca's already on there.
Yep.
Obviously the capital is on there. Rasso was not on there.
Fire sees some of the names of the city, like, oh, I remember being there, and I remember what I took. Nothing. Never mind. Nope. Nope.
I'd like to
Yeah.
hear those stories someday.
Let me see here. Yeah, Isa will just kind of hold his hand up and then recite for the minor illusion and go ahead and just kind of unveil his notes as he would on his map, kind of overlaid like he would on his map in his book anyway.
Okay.
I think I've got it all.
That's as best the notes that I can give you.
It's absolutely better than nothing. So, thank you. And I'll fold it up again and put it away once I'm finished.
Okay. The rest of you?
Guess we're gonna continue to head in that direction. I can't really think of any other reason to not continue that path, especially if we've come across these kinds of creatures already. There's no telling what we'll find heading that way.
Has Jude told us where he was first attacked?
No, no one's really talked
I
to
don't
him.
think so.
All right. Pyre's,
Other than to make sure that he's okay.
Yeah, I mean, make sure he's okay. Yeah.
Pyre's gonna go over to him and be like, how long were those things chasing you?
On and off. I would be able to outrun them for a bit, and then they would go away, it seems, or it was strange. It was like watching. Have you ever seen the ocean? Or fish. Have you ever seen a fish in a lake? You ever seen like jump out of like the lake and then go back into it?
Yes.
Imagine that, but that. And he points to where that big creature was.
Okay.
I would outrun it for, on and off the last day. I was able to get away from the capital with no issue. Started making my way to Matol to kind of peddle my wares there. Heard things are going well. Another merchant. Hot tip. Had to go there quick. And
Understandable.
Probably got about a day and a half, 2 days away from my tool, and then they just came out of the ground. No eruption, no cracking of rocks or anything, just like a fish.
You said they just came out of the ground?
Yes.
That is very interesting.
Although it explains why there are now bones. I'm gonna make notes in my journal.
Okay.
Jotting down the fact that these creatures that used, at least from what it looks like, used to have to almost possess a creature, or for them to have flesh, can now create flesh of their own with this material.
So Catalia's gonna think, and then she's gonna pull the map back out. Is Rosso along the lines that Isa drew? Like, I know I asked in our little chat thing, like, kind of.
I just seen the message.
Like, while they're talking to Jude, I'm like, hey, I want to have this conversation.
I do not have the chat pulled up. That's my bad.
That's okay.
I didn't either. I apologize. I would have answered.
Okay.
I now have the chat pulled up.
Okay. I was just thinking, like, that way I wouldn't interrupt them talking to Jude.
I would say, looking at this map, you do see one of the lines seems to almost mimic the mountain range itself. Not perfectly, but close.
I wonder if we should go back.
Go back for what?
Make sure that Rosso's okay.
But
I don't know.
we're on our way. You were gonna help me in Matol.
we should probably head there first if that's an active one. We can check them later, but I think if we're gonna go and... I mean, if we're finding these things already on the way, we need to make sure make sure it's not a good idea to try and split up. And
That's
I'd
right.
say the erupting event might be more important.
I forgot that we were going to. Yeah, that's my bad.
But once we're done, if where you're from is on a line, maybe there's a guardian there I can research. I would love to see your home.
It's a very small little village, but it's good.
She's saying that because she doesn't want her boyfriend to be around me anymore.
He's not my boyfriend.
Small towns
But
are
he-
the worst.
Wait, who are you talking about?
I don't remember.
Because that was not Wymore.
You're right. Oh, that wasn't Wymore. That
No,
was,
that was not.
Glowstead.
Slowwood.
Slowwood. I don't know what that noise is.
But
We should probably just go.
You look over and you see Jude with two, what should be like flint rocks, and this little beginnings of a fire, and just.
Snow will hold out her hand and use produce flame to light his fire.
Oh, thank you, Third One. Thank you. What was your name? I didn't get it.
Snow, sir.
Snow. Jude. Very nice to meet you.
Likewise.
can I make an Arcana check on him?
Sure. What are you trying to ascertain?
The fact that you just told us it was mid-morning and he's trying to light a fire for...
Sure.
Maybe he wants to cook food.
He has been running for like a day.
You said you want to make
It's
an
been raining, so
Arcana
he's
check?
probably
I
sleepy.
want to see if there's something that's affecting him that's making him think that his perception of time is weird.
Oh.
Or maybe it's our perception of time, because as Isa knows, he just went to sleep. He's fucking exhausted still.
Yeah, I would say roll an insight check.
Alright. Mother F. There you go. It actually works.
20 total. Nice. He just said he's been running from these things for about a good little bit. Probably hasn't stopped to eat. You probably guess he doesn't care what's going on. He's hungry.
Hungry.
I'll look over to Tam and ask him if we have any food that we can give him that's already made that way it holds him over. If we have anything extra.
I'll dig through. I think we've got some leftover jerky from the boar, and I'll bring that over to him.
Oh, thank you. I have my own.
Just
Yeah,
enough to
but-
hold you over until you get your food ready.
Oh, thank you. Which I have a lot. If you would like to stay just for a meal, let me at least repay you.
Fire's looking at that jerky like, yes.
I will make you more
Precious.
jerky. Come on. We
But-
should really get going. We appreciate the offer.
But jerky!
I will make you more jerky.
I haven't eaten jerky in like 10 minutes.
I
I'm
will give
hungry.
her. I will give her more of my jerky.
Okay.
Jerky.
Yes,
I
that's
love-
why I put it in your hand.
I love that Pyre is slowly becoming a teenager. It's great.
So, also at this point, you notice as Jude gets up and turns to like the back of his cart, he opens the back and some of you probably have an angle on it. You can see he has what looks to be like this, I wouldn't say sack, but this like treated leather burlap like material that seems to be wrapping something. And he kind of pulls it as hard as he can, boom, and it falls to 3 or 4 feet to the ground. Hits a solid thud, and kind of a leg falls out of what looks to be like a deer or something of that nature. And then he kind of stands back up, kind of creaking his back, and he kind of reaches up to the top of this back of the cart, and he grabs what looks to be just kind of this amber-colored bottle, the cork in it. Boop, pops it off. See him take a swig. And he kind of sets it next to this little chair he has that's next to this fire that's starting to go. You guys unfold this material, and it looks like it's just sectioned off pieces of venison. And he pulls the whole leg up. And he's like, "You sure?"
Isa's gonna look at Tam with his blade still out, blood still flowing from the wound on his arm. I haven't had breakfast yet. You threw me to the road and said, keep up.
To be fair, none of us had breakfast.
Let's eat.
I
Please.
only had
Alright,
3
fine.
pieces of jerky on the way here. Only 3.
Master Jude, it seems I've been outvoted. We would love to join you for a respite before we hit the road.
Well, if you're... I didn't mean to pry and over here, but it seems you're heading to the desert capital as well.
Is that where we're going?
I thought the ley lines were still the cross that we were heading towards was actually in Thavia, was it not?
No.
We were
Okay.
headed for the Matol.
Okay,
We
so we
were
heading
headed to Wymore, and then we met with Isa, and then it's kind of like altered our path a bit.
Yeah.
Alright.
From what I know, the ley lines kind of are somewhere in the vicinity of right near Matol. That's how his drawing looks.
Isa screwed up everything for us. Thanks, Marie Calendar.
Oh my god!
Win.
No, we're not getting into this. I'm shutting it down right now. So you watch
So
as
after
Jude
so
kind of...
after you-
Go ahead.
when he turns to look at the party, when he turns back to look at his stuff, Kelvin's already sitting next to him with a plate of his own.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's gotta cook first. Orcs,
No.
you can wait.
Okay.
And he pulls out these this pair of like metal rods that are fixed to one point and uses it as like almost like a teepee stand on each side of the fire, and he skewers a leg and sets it on those, and just has this little crank wheel just right over the fire.
Well, I believe I'm going to go and try and see if I can't add a little something extra to the meal.
Okay.
And I am going to, even though I don't have enough for everybody to eat freely, I will use my Outlander ability to at least get enough rations for us to all have a little bit of something to contribute to what he has, so we're not draining his supplies.
Okay. How long are you committing to this?
Probably an hour or 2.
Okay. Is anybody going with you?
It's entirely up to them.
You need help?
Needs a strong word.
He needs help.
I will take my brand new bow with me.
Oh yeah, that's gonna go over well.
Gonna cook it.
Catch and cook, all in one.
Super efficient.
All right.
Why
Pretty
is
sure
it?
if you're talking about lightning, you've gone beyond cook. I'm pretty sure that goes into char.
Why
I
is
don't know.
it?
I like the chart outside.
It's kind of like we call it flash fry.
Why is it hot on the outside, icicle on the inside?
It's like a gas station microwave burrito.
Mm.
God.
A Waffle House steak.
Level
Oh,
of rare.
God.
So Cathalia and Tam head off to do Outlander things.
Like kissing in a tree.
Yep.
To
I
get
will
married.
say anything you want to converse or handle in the next hour, you're more than welcome to. If not, we'll just quickly move over this. Jude prepares the meal, gets some help from probably Isa, and Kelvin
Yes, sir.
sits there and waits to get fed.
Kelvin's not a horrible cook, but he also asks, "Do you have any lizard jerky?"
He seems slightly offended by this question.
Really, Kelvin?
Don't know why.
Really?
What? I miss my jerky.
Look at and I'm just pointing at him, just like, look at him, just look.
He doesn't look like a lizard.
Oh,
At this
Sorry,
point, you
but
see
they're-
Jude's fucking dragonborn hand just.
Pyre's doing the same thing at the same time.
Isa's just under his breath muttering, "Are they really related? Is that really her brother?"
No, these were like 6 feet tall, green tails.
Lizard folk.
Yeah, lizards.
Sure.
You have lizard jerky?
No. What was your name again?
Kelvin.
Calvin, it's. And he stops there and goes back to cooking.
Wait, why are you talking about lizard folk?
About an hour passes, and I would say you're able to bring back what looks to be probably some berries, other plant life that is to be edible, especially the two of you. I'm not going to make you roll for that. Unless you want to find anything specific. Okay.
No.
Probably head back with maybe some small game. Like a couple
So maybe a
rabbits.
couple of rabbits.
Yeah.
I'll get
Efforts.
those dressed and seasoned and then edged onto the fire.
All efforts combined, everybody has a hearty, more like lunch. Definitely, everyone's probably super hungry by this point. But a good meal is had. Shortly after enjoying it, sees you just kind of sit back in that little, this three-legged chair he had folded out. Oh, thank you. Glad you decided to stay and rest. At this point, you kind of see he's kind of taken the tarp and rolled it back. The rain has stopped. It's still overcasty, but the sun is doing its best to try and peek through the clouds. And probably about after 5-10 more minutes, see Jude get up and start to kind of pick things up, get things ready to go, reassembling his cart, getting the horses reined in. Well, if we're all going the same direction, some can ride on the carts. Really only room for one more. Sorry I don't have more. Well, you could sit on the top.
How tall is the carriage, the cart?
I would say, are you talking like the actual cart, or are you talking like from ground up?
From ground to the top of the cart.
10, 12 feet.
10, 12 feet. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
otherwise. Snow will hop up there.
Okay. Whoop.
Vantage point.
Snow hops right up.
I'll walk beside the horses.
Oh, you should probably get up in the cart too for the vantage point and to be able to pick stuff off from a distance.
I'll do that. So I'm guessing I'll sit up next to Jude.
Okay.
Don't shoot me again.
Did I shoot you?
It's been a little while, but yeah.
Did
So
I
you
really? When? I know I shot Tam.
The crystal monster. As soon as I got back in my body, arrow to the back.
What?
Oh God! And she just starts walking.
Okay.
I know I've shot Tam, and I may have accidentally
No,
shot
you
Kelvin at one point.
absolutely- You absolutely did. I still have scars.
I'm sorry.
At this point, Jude starts to get the
So
horses going.
only
He goes,
3
"Wait,
more.
you shot your own companions?
It's a long story.
Mine was an accident.
It's
His
a long
wasn't.
ride."
Who claims she's gotten better with that bow?
But did you die?
Not yet.
No.
Don't ask those questions.
Pyre
Now we've
start.
given her
Pyre,
one that uses lightning.
Pyre doesn't even look, and she starts laughing. You kill me. Okay.
I was talking about Kelvin, but did you see that thing on his forehead? Yeah, that was me.
Yes, it was.
Oh man. All right. Well, for the day's travel, who would like to roll the D20?
Not it.
I vote
Yeah.
Isa.
Yes.
I second this.
I don't
Third.
think he's ever. Oh, we
There
already
we
got
go.
one.
Aw.
15. That is.
Thank you, Snow.
You're welcome.
Don't worry, you got next.
Very
Oh,
well.
Damn.
The day of travel along the dry road is uneventful. The weather seems to be holding at an overcast, a drizzle here and there, nothing like the downpour you've had the last few days. But in general, it's a quiet, calm ride. You do probably see about another 1 or 2 merchant carts coming up from the south to the north. Jude just kind of gives a little wave, and he kind of moves aside a little bit. The other one moves aside. They are able to pass. It's a fairly wide enough road for both to pass, but definitely, merchant's grace. They give a bit of space. But your day of travel is pretty uneventful. I would say at this point, as it probably about late evening, just as the last bit of the sun is setting off on the horizon, and it's hitting that kind of beautiful colors of like purples and hues of orange throughout the overcast clouds that are just beginning to thin out to be just cloud cover. You see a very familiar sight from an extremely different angle to all of you. You see the green line at its absolute most ferocity. You see it probably reaching up about 50, 60 feet in total. And the dry road appears to be heading towards what looks to be an opening, kind of structured out of stone, probably about halfway up is the size of the archway and the passage through the green line. As the cart with Jude gets a bit closer, you can see there are some guards kind of stationed there. Nothing. Everyone make a perception check for me.
My focus is elsewhere.
14.
I got a 14. It's just not showing.
Okay. Tam, excuse me. Tam, you are just in your book, just reading through anything that help you make sense of this. Most of the words are still gibberish and hard to focus on. Some of it, your most recent writings, that's where you find your calm in this. I say you don't pick up on anything too crazy. Snow. Well, I'll start from lowest to highest. Kelvin and Pyre, you said you were at a 14 or an 18?
There's a
14.
14. So Kelvin and Pyre, you kind of notice that it's not a lot of guards here. There's probably like a total of like 5 or 6. say probably 2 or 3 on one side and 2 on the other side. Probably not too far off. You can see what looks to be a decently sized building. Nothing large or crazy, but large enough to house what you would imagine to be anywhere from 5 to 10 guards at any one time. For Snow and Cathalia, what you notice is that the guards themselves are definitely pretty relaxed. They don't seem tense or really even armed. I mean, they have arms on them, but they're still sheathed or mostly resting at this point. As Jude comes closer with the cart, he kind of slows it up a bit, and you watch one of the guards kind of walk over, kind of eye all of you up and down real quick.
I gotta, before they start to get close to us, as soon as we gain true perception on them, disguise self.
Okay. What are you disguising yourself as?
I go into my everyday tiefling form.
Okay. So I would say everyone except Tam, you watch as a bit of magic seems to shimmer over Isa's form.
Not disguise self, but my my ability that allows me to do it. The faceless ability. I'm gonna start putting on my disguise and.
Okay. So, reworded, everyone except Tam, you notice as Isa begins to kind of pull out what looks to be makeups and powders and compounds and begin applying them to himself with this little mirror he has to make himself look like a little more of a tiefling. Kind of giving himself more like a pronounced jaw, a bit of the ears coated on, kind of changing his complexion as well. But once he does get close enough, the guard kind of comes over, holds his hand up a bit. Jude just waves back. There's a small bit of conversation about why his purpose is. Not a lot of crazy drilled questions you notice, and then the guard just kind of nods his head, looks over to the rest of the party. And are all of you traveling with this merchant as a traveling multi-shop?
He ran into some trouble. We protected him. We're keeping him safe until he gets to his location.
More
Trouble?
like security.
Like bandits?
No.
What'd you run into?
More wild beasts.
You see as he kind of reaches off to his side and pulls out this bit of like a journal, opens it up, starts writing down into it. Whereabouts?
Would it be like a
Day's
half
travel
day?
east.
Okay.
There were 4 of them. We haven't really seen them since. They were chasing him before we got there, so.
He's just kind of nodding his head, taking the notes down. Okay. Well, hopefully you don't encounter such creatures in the desert. Kind of closes the book and sets it back into his pocket. Well, safe travels. And he kind of steps back, and Jude will kind of nick the reins a little bit, and the horses pick up. The cart moves along its way. And for the first time, for probably most of you, you enter into the Kingdom of Zyvan. Just as the sun is coming down, the view granted to all of you is this wide, majestic view of the desert. It just looks like these ever soft blankets of almost like brown, like light brown glitter, especially the way the light seems to be refracting off of it at this angle. And just off in the distance, probably no more than probably another day's travel, you can make out some structures. I would say everyone give me one more perception check, please. Oof.
14.
Time around.
Oof.
Thalia's got like the tourist stare. because she's
Solid
never
and
seen the
Isa.
desert. Like, she's
Mhm.
never really seen the desert before. She's excited.
That, I will say, with 2 natural 20s, one from Cathalia, one from Isa. Everybody else, you all kind of notice as they're looking and begin to point things out, and you can see off in the distance what looks to be most predominantly a city, large, surrounded, and in the middle looks to be a singular spire heading taller than the rest of the buildings.
Isa will drop to his knees. And you see a shiver go over his full shoulders as he's kind of awestruck.
Dude, it's just sand.
Sorry, we're not old and we've not been everywhere before.
Fire.
Is this land? Is it just flat?
It's a bit of like a rolling hill. It's flat for the most part. There are kind of, not in your immediate vicinity, it's mostly flat. More towards as you look to what would be the middle of this land, you can see where dunes of unknown size begin to reach up like mountains and then come back down.
Where is Tam? Is he like in the front of the cart or beside the cart?
Probably beside.
Okay, Pyre goes over to Tam, and are you still writing in your journal or
I'd
reading?
say I've probably closed it by now.
All right. Hey Tam, did you see what happened during that last fight?
Explosion and the fact that you kept your cool when you raged, yes.
Yeah. I went in fully thinking that I would be gone, but I wasn't.
Yeah, same here. I still want to do some research, but I'd say we're at least a little bit safer. We still don't know what the Validium has done to your latent magical abilities, but in an open desert, it might be a decent place to try it. To see if it's magnified your power at all.
I will also say, point of note, as you all have come into Zyvan proper, you now understand the sheer importance of the green line as the weather feels almost drastically different.
Fire is in heaven.
Immediately, you are hit with warm, not scorching hot, but warm winds. And even though the sun is very low in the sky, it is still pretty hot. It's definitely cooler now than what you would imagine perhaps a midday sun would feel like. But as all of you cross into that threshold and you walk for probably about 10, 20, 30, 45 more minutes, the true importance of maintaining the green line and the ritual all of you ensured was, for the most part, successful, begins to really kind of sink into your minds.
How long have we been traveling for?
Say at this point you've been traveling the rest of the day pretty much. Like it is becoming, it is pushing into that time to
we even crossed over. So
Well, I'm asking how long have we been in the heat? Because
in the heat, probably
yeah,
about
because
an hour.
That I have to make a roll for that.
That's right, you do.
So would you say that I would need to roll for the exhaustion for it?
I would say not yet, as it is very late into the evening, and deserts rapidly have that cooling process and become freezing at night. So, not yet.
It was feeling so good.
And Jude probably travels for about an hour until he's on the other side of the green line before you see him kind of begin to defer his path away from what seems to be like a mainly traveled desert road, essentially. And he kind of diverts off for probably about 30 minutes before he kind of pulls back the reins and begins to do his usual setup. At this point, you can notice he kind of reaches underneath the cart and kind of pulls out these two like hidden buckets, and it just has like feed just shoved into him. Once he gets his cart set up with the over tarp and he releases the horses, he kind of sets the feed down next to them.
No,
Yes.
I want to thank you for you and all your druid people for what you do. This place sucks.
What are you talking about? It feels like fall out here.
It's hot and it's flat everywhere.
Wait
It's
until
so
high noon.
humid.
Wait until it's high noon.
I think I can wait.
You just kind of hear Jude chuckling. He's got a point.
Y'all are just a bunch of complainers. I'm cold all the time while y'all are over there like, oh, it feels so good. You don't hear me complaining.
I mean, you are complaining now.
Yeah. Now.
Yeah. Then I do hear you complaining.
Not during those times I didn't.
I wasn't
let
there
them
for those
have their
times.
fun.
No,
Alright.
just turns back to Kelvin. I appreciate your appreciation.
You're welcome.
Oh god, the way she said that, it sounded like she does the finger guns.
Hey,
And I love it. And I love it.
as long as there's that big dad energy with the wink afterwards.
Oh
Yep.
my gosh.
Whoa.
So all of you begin to assist in your camp making project. Is there any conversation or anything your characters would like to handle before we move into watches?
Snow will actually go up to Jude,
Okay.
because Jude said he travels this road fairly regularly, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, she'll go up to him and ask him, the guards back at the line,
Yes?
are they always so lackadaisical?
Well, kind of depends who's there. Sometimes they can. He kind of takes his hand and puts it to the side of his large dragonborn snout. Sometimes they can be real pricks.
I heard that.
But
Just a matter of who's there at what time?
the way I figure it, war in the north, they probably don't keep their sharpest soldiers down here.
That is a fair point, friend. Okay, I was just curious. Thank you.
Of course.
As Snow turns around from having that conversation, Ice is kind of standing a few steps back. I actually have a question for you, Snow, and I hope you don't take it as any means of attack against you.
She's offended.
It's more simple curiosity of how it works.
Air and magic weapons. She's offended.
How do you
Continue?
keep fur from catching on fire?
How do I keep my fur from catching on fire?
Well, you continuously light your hands on fire, and Well, you don't smell like burnt hair all the time, so I figured I would ask.
I just figured it was a trait that came with being a druid, honestly. I mean, I'm not immune to fire. I can definitely say I've been singed before. But it seems that it's not an issue when it's my own.
I suppose.
Did you pull her aside for this, or is this in front of everybody?
This is kind of just on her way back to the camp, or wherever she was in relation to the camp. So yeah, I mean, I guess if you guys are all standing there, then yeah, I still look like a fucking idiot.
I was just like, do you not know how magic works?
Oh,
Wow.
Pyre just has like a eyebrow cocked, like, okay.
Wow, even Kelvin's spitting fire tonight. You gonna ask him how he doesn't get burned either?
I know how magic works, green one. I spill it from my very veins.
That's how she doesn't burn. Magic. Ta-da!
You never know what you can learn from asking.
That is true.
I got a pretty good idea.
it just depends on how you ask. And I just look at Kelvin.
Who's ready for dinner?
Yeah. We also need to make sure we're drinking plenty of water while we're out here. It's going to be very easy to dehydrate and get exhausted in the heat. Don't expect to travel as far as we do.
How far away from Matol are we? You said about a day?
About a day. Probably
So
at this point, probably I would say it would be like a full day.
Every 30 minutes or so, you see Kelvin kind of using prestidigitation over his, like, in 3 spots. Like, he's got a cloth wrapped over his head. He casts on that. Something on his chest. And, like, around his waist. As I use it to chill any non-living material for an hour. I have air conditioning.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I'm hot.
That was so overpowered.
Okay, I'll allow it. It's
ever.
definitely within the wording of the spell.
Yes.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Wait till tonight.
Okay.
I'm going to go try and find water and food with my Outlander abilities.
Okay.
I'll go with Tam this time.
Okay. I will say, for water, give me a survival check.
Is that not included with the Outlander ability? I thought it was food and water for 6.
Not if
You're
there's
right.
no water in the area.
You're in a desert.
Fair point. Fair point.
Do
fair
both of
point.
us need to?
Oh, shit. Well,
You
looks
can
like I'm
each
getting
roll
into this hump nice
individually,
early.
or one of you can take advantage.
Oh, he already rolled, so 23.
23. All right. Tam, you're just not used to working around in the desert very well. You definitely are able to kind of hunt down some larger insectoid type creatures that are probably about, just smaller than your hand. Fetch up enough of those into a sack to be labeled as sufficient protein. But for water, you're like, God bless it, and you look left, you look right, you're trying to get a little disoriented from just a sheer perfectness around you of everything being exactly the same, super bland, nothing really standing out, save from the city, which is now beyond your visual sight. And then you just see Pyre kind of like, what about this? You look over, she points to this, you see this kind of like this large, like, cacti-like plant structure, probably about 4 feet wide, only like 3 or 4 feet tall.
Probably work.
Pyre,
What'd
you
you
just
find?
Food?
Food? Question mark.
Pyre,
No,
you
food, period.
kind of take your new great
but-
sword and just kind of whack off one of the like whooshink, and one of like the smaller like outcroppings of this cacti cluster. Like, yeah, there's liquid in there. It's safe.
That sounds very judgy.
Not judgy.
Would say if you so choose, you could definitely fill up your own water skins from this cluster of cacti, and then remember where it is and get everybody else's filled up as well, if that's how you want to go about it.
Is there any way, like, maybe I could, like, skin it and just carry it with me? Like, skin all the prickles off?
Sure. Give me a... What are you doing this with?
The dagger I put in her hand.
I have it hand axe.
The dagger I put in her hand.
All right, the dagger he put in my hand.
Okay. Give me a... Give me just a straight dexterity check.
Can I help with that?
23.
Nice. Never mind.
23. Tam with a skill that is almost frightening. You watch as Pyre perfectly, for lack of a better term, fillets the harmful layer of vegetation off of this plant, leaving just enough to where whatever liquid's inside of it isn't being punctured or pierced out of it, but the harmful outer prickly skin has been perfectly cleaved off.
Great
Let's
job,
see.
kiddo.
With your strength score, Pyre, there's no need to roll. You just kind of grab it safely now and kind of rock it like back and forth a little bit until you hear a and then you kind of just lug it over your shoulder. Thunk.
I think this will be enough for now.
Yeah. Great job.
Oh, he actually complimented me. And then I just walked towards the group.
Okay. You probably headed out for about 30-35 minutes away from the group to get to this. So another 30-35 minutes later, about an hour and 15 has passed. All of you watch as Tam's walking up. He's got this sack he's kind of holding off to his side, and you see Pyre with this log on her shoulders.
Hey guys, I got water.
Curious head tilt.
You'll see.
The
right.
water out here is solid.
Give me your water
Sure, you've got a
skin.
spell for that.
Give me your water skin.
Would I know anything about these plants out here? Like, if the tribe knows if there are any that we should stay away from.
Trying to
Or is
think
it too
here.
far over the line?
It's definitely too far over the line, but fantastic question. We're just going to roll it into a history check instead of nature.
Okay.
Oof, 19. You guys are on fire tonight. Jesus. 19 on a history check. Well, personally, snow has not been this far of the green line. You've definitely heard tales about the vegetation in the desert, and you do know that there are some plants to avoid. But specifically, you do know, I would say with 19, I'll give you more, yeah. You know that for the most part, the larger the vegetation that is housing the water, the safer it is.
All right. Thank you kindly.
Yep.
All right, who wants water?
I'll bring mine up to Pyre.
All right,
Pyre, how do you dispense the water? What are you doing to get the water out?
Does anybody have a spigot? Just shove it there.
Well, I was thinking about stabbing the dagger into it, stabbing back into the hole, whatever. But
I can be of assistance with that. And I'll take out the ice pick.
Is it clean now?
oh god,
Oh no, is it clean?
I mean, it's magic.
Okay.
How dirty is magic?
Magic can be pretty fucking disgusting.
As he just stabs into the cat.
Is it like a metallic-y taste? What would magic taste like?
You ever have that Kool-Aid?
oh my god.
All right. So Isa, you just kind of, and then a steady, small stream of water begins to flow out of the vegetation that Pyre has brought back. Everybody is able to completely fill their water skins, and Pyre, you actually have to like tip it back up because there's still kind of sloshing around. There's still a little bit of water left in there. Jude even fills his up. He has a bucket, like an extra one. He's like, if everybody's done, can I horses?
Of course, yeah.
Of course, you don't have to ask that. She just starts pouring it into the bucket. They saved her life. They need that water.
You barely start filling it up. As soon as the horses hear the water, you see one of the ears kind of go, and it begins to trot over and starts nuzzling up against you, trying to drink from the cactus itself.
Hold on. As I rub its
Handling.
nose. Like, hold on.
Give me an animal handling check. One, two. Oh man, it's trying to chew. It is chewing on the vegetation, and it actually like takes a chomp out of it.
Hey, I know it's tasty, isn't it?
Go ahead. Yeah, you can cast Speak with Animals. Sure.
All right. I've never done this before. This is exciting.
Okay. All of you watch as Cathalia begins to kind of wave her hands through the air, and she speaks this elven dialect, and you watch as her vocal cords actually seem to be like her whole neckline all the way around begins to rap with this kind of elven script, and then a crest seems to rest over the front of where her kind of voice box is, and she begins to speak and almost actually like softly. It's weird to watch because you can see her mouth moving, but the words coming out aren't matching up with the motion her mouth is making. It's almost like watching a really bad like overdub of a really old movie. But as she begins to speak, you watch as the horses kind of look at her.
Pyre gets really excited. Cathalia, you could do that too?
I just kind of nod because I don't know if I can like turn it off and then go back. I've never done it before,
Okay.
but I'll just kind of like tell the horses, take it easy and be careful. And like, since I know that nobody else understands, I will thank them for, saving Jude and then helping us get this far. But just so that they're not like overexerting themselves getting the water and getting too excited and stuff.
I haven't met many people who can also speak with animals like me.
Oh
Like you
man.
can speak with animals?
Yes.
Whoa.
Can't we all speak with animals? Hi, horsey.
What does the horse do after Kelvin does that?
I was
What
looking
do
up
they
the
say?
stat block of a horse to make sure I
Oh,
could
God.
properly articulate its communication efforts. And it ain't looking good.
Uh-oh.
All right. The horses understand you. And I will say, for determining that, give me a persuasion check. Please.
Persuasion. I'm gonna add a help die.
Okay.
Let's persuade the horse.
You only have an
7.
intelligence of 2. I'm just saying.
Yeah. They definitely acknowledge you're speaking, but the sounds they make come to you as words, Cathalia. And it's mainly this... It's like trying to talk to like a toddler during snack time. Their
Makes
main
sense.
focus is trying to get water and fresh, crisp vegetation into them.
Trust me.
So
all
one
they
of
are
them is
horses.
currently chewing on the vegetation Pyre has. The other one is drinking out of the bucket.
While horses are very loyal creatures, they're not much of a conversationist. Trust me, I know.
Yeah, I just didn't want them to get sick from going too fast.
Understandable. But they'll learn the hard way, I guess.
Hopefully it's
learn the
not the
hard
bad
way.
hard way. Where they get sick.
Yeah.
Hey, more turkey.
My God.
They're not our horses. Why are you
Are
talking
you
about
assisting
eating
his point or arguing against it?
against it?
That's what
They're not
I'm
our
wondering.
horses.
But if they were,
We
It's
still
fair
wouldn't
game.
eat them because
It's
you don't
fair
know
game.
if we would get sick eating the horses. If they get sick and die from eating something, do you really want to eat that flesh? Really?
plus
Yes.
horses kind of a
Oh my god. I don't.
horse is kind of a stringy, tough meat. You don't want it.
About
I'm
this
just
time,
gonna.
a familiar scent begins to fill the nostrils of most of the party as you look over and you see Jude has been taking his time to prepare more of that venison and the leftover rabbits.
Thank you for giving me a mild panic attack there for a second, Brandon. I'm like,
Appreciate
what?
that one, Claire. I'm in another continent. I shouldn't be affected like that.
Hags though, bro. I'm gonna pet them and then go ask Jude if he needs help.
Jude just kind of shakes his head and begins to carve off probably the first couple of pieces that are mostly cooked. It's like, here, just try.
I'll try a bite.
It's pretty good. It could use a little bit longer. You can tell he's probably looking for like, what do you think? He kind of looks at you with that like expectant look.
I think it needs a little bit longer, but it's really good.
Okay. It's this little tiny crank, especially in his large dragonborn claw. Just over a fire. Probably about another 20, 30 minutes pass to make sure things, he carves off pieces as they get done. Kind of sets them on, he has this little bowl. Everybody gets a piece. Tam, do you offer up your findings?
Yeah, I got bugs.
Oh, bugs! He grabs one from you and just kind of skewers it right away and holds over the fire like a marshmallow.
Pyre was in mid-bite whenever he said bugs, and she just open mouth turns to Tam I found water and you found bugs?
Protein and they're edible.
I get that, but
I'll take one of those.
Oh, toss one to Kelvin.
I'll just eat it like it is.
Okay.
I am going to
Give me a Constitution saving throw.
dagger and kind of crush, kind of skewer its head a little bit, and then season it and use one of the skewers from my chef's tools, my cook's tools, to kind of roast it over the fire as well.
All right. 14? Okay. You get it down. You choke it down. It takes a little extra water, but shell and all, it goes down.
Oh, it was fighting a little bit.
Imagine that.
Are these bugs dead or alive when you bring them back to us?
They are alive because I'm not sure how well they keep. So here, and I stab another one in the head, and then pass its dead body to Snow to cook.
Snow takes the skewer and looks at it disappointed.
I suggest you. Well, I'm sorry we're out of rabbits. I'm kind of out of my element here.
I was just gonna play with it for a little bit first.
Oh God, I will toss her another one.
you could have asked
You know?
me, Tam.
Here,
I
I'll
coulda helped
take
you
Snow's if she's okay with that. Well, she gets one to play with.
While
Are
she
there-
plays with hers.
Are there any worms or any grub-like ones?
There's probably one or two. Most of
Can
them
I
are probably scarab-ish.
No, I want something a little bit more tubular.
Oh my god.
If there's a tubular one, I want that one.
I will say there's one.
Over. Yeah, we'll give you that one.
Alright. I'm just gonna hold it in my mouth for a little while, hoping that it freezes.
Couple seconds pass and it freezes to death.
Oh.
I never thought I would be this grossed out by D&D.
And you look over at Snow and she's just
Popcorn.
patting the one she has.
No, stop playing with your
Is she
dinner.
chasing it? Are you chasing it? If it runs, are you gonna chase it?
Bringing it back.
I'm batting it back and forth.
Batting it back and forth, and if it gets away from me, I'll bring it back so I can keep doing it. Spend about
Is it-
30 minutes playing with it, and then just hand it back to Tam.
Okay.
You're not hungry?
I am, but I also still have rations. I'm not quite sure the nature of some of the food here in the desert. And
I am going to pierce its skull and just throw it into the fire.
Okay.
How long do we cook them?
Kelvin is visibly upset.
You watch this whole time that Snow's been batting one around and Jude's been kind of patiently keeping his at a certain little distance away from it. And then all of you hear this audible little and you watch as the shell literally cracks open from the expanding heat. Oh, it's done! And he quickly pulls away from the fire.
So it's kind of like popcorn.
You gotta keep your eye on it. If it let it sit too long, it gets awful fast. But as soon as the shell pops, pull it back out the fire. Delicious. And he kind of
Tam just threw his into the fire. Great.
No, I threw the one
It's
that
on the
Snow was
skewer.
playing with into the fire. I had mine still on a skewer.
and it was still alive. So for about 3 or 4 seconds, you hear this high pitched scream.
No, I killed them both. I was
okay.
humane.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to reach into the fire for that bug.
No,
Yes.
I've got another skewer as I use the skewer to stab it.
Should we let you around fire? We know what happened the last time you were around it.
Do you see any goblins?
Oof.
No,
Oof.
you'd be eating those.
Does that mean you've already been here, Tam?
Many, 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 many years ago. It's been a while. Desert's just not my strong suit, man.
Are you saying that you hate sand because it's coarse and it gets everywhere?
Wait, I
Please-
thought people like the
please
sand in the warm weather.
Please tell me that you specifically don't like the desert because it's coarse and it gets everywhere.
Really? Because this place is called Florida, and we have a nursing home we're taking you to.
First of all, I'd love to see you try.
That is, it's pronounced
I'll just give you
Floridia,
that.
Yeah,
I'll just give you
there we
that
go.
tea, and then it'll be easy.
and
Yes.
it's just south of the capital.
Yep.
I'm never drinking any shit you give me again.
I just gave you water.
You did. I'm not
Yeah.
talking about you. Ah, god damn it.
I patiently wait for my little bug to pop, and then I'm just giggling.
Okay. Eventually, all of you have what can be considered a rather filling and decently delicious meal. As we move into watches, before we do, we're going to go ahead and take our break there. We've been going for an hour and a half. It's time to take a little bit of a break, get a snack, because I am starving.
Already?
It's 7:30.
bro.
Yep,
Wow.
I know. Well, everybody, we're going to take our break. We'll be back in about probably 10-ish minutes. Hang around. And I can't wait to see what they do with the second half of this episode, because it's going to get a lot of fun really fast in this desert. So we'll see y'all in about 10 minutes.
It's pronounced.
We've modified
Welcome back,
that.
everybody. Hope you had a good break.
Whoa.
Oh, we didn't have to have our conversation at the break.
No, we didn't.
What conversation were you going to have at the break?
Don't worry about
Nothing.
it.
We'll have to wait until after.
I mean, if you really want to have it right now, but
No,
We
he
are an
didn't.
18 plus stream, but
Yeah, he at the
not
beginning
going
of the
there.
stream. Though.
Oh, yeah, hang on. This ain't ready yet. I
Oh,
forgot to
okay.
do something real quick. No, we're still live. Hi, guys. You're going to stare at my face for a minute while I check some settings really fast, because that's my bad on that one.
Okay.
Honestly, that wasn't me being an idiot asking Snow how she was fireproof, because
It's a legitimate question. I mean,
trying to find
by all
fireproofing.
rights, by all rights, her paws should not have any fur left on them.
It's magic. It
Did
works.
Cathalia shave that
I was
off?
gonna say yeah, but it's a lot more fun to make fun of him for it than it is to just let it be.
There
Maybe
you
that's where
are.
the mysterious white fur came from. It was your paws.
Okay, we're fixed. And we
You know what?
are back on the table.
Just like every Bethesda game, there is now a sign that says "ISO will remember this."
Oh my gosh.
In case
Okay.
anyone
When this
doesn't know,
happened-
red vines are amazing.
Ice is
Welcome
Sterling
back,
nuts.
everybody. Thank you for hanging out during the break. I hope you went and got some snacks like I did, and everybody else here.
Mine are on my desk forever.
I should have got more water. Too late now. It's gonna be all right.
shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Don't you know you're supposed to stay hydrated in the desert?
Oh look,
Yeah,
my other
Brandon.
water bottle.
Go get some water for 2 minutes.
I got my other one. We're good. We're back. With the show must go on.
We can sit around and listen to Papa Tam tell us stories of his youth.
Oh my god.
All right, fine. If you're gonna let me go get water, because I'm a bad person, forgot to do it. I will say, let's kick off. I'll let you guys figure out how you're gonna do the watches, and then just throw the rolls in the chat, and I'll look at them when I get back.
All right, yeah.
But do role play. Do this cool thing. I'll be right back, guys. I'm actually gonna kill my camera too.
So are we doing our normals?
Yeah, we're gonna do the normals.
You're not gonna sleep tonight?
I'm gonna try not to.
I'm gonna try to
I
not
mean-
have to.
Wisdom saving throw.
I will when I get there.
I would
Who's-
recommend you take one watch and then lay down if you need to.
I'm
Who,
gonna
me?
try 2 watches, and then I will do what I must.
Yeah, because I'm not dealing with Grumpy Tam again.
I got tea for that.
I will bury your head in the sand. Okay.
I am not an ostrich, first of all. Second of all, you'd have to get close enough.
I will take whatever watch that is not with Kelvin again.
You're gonna go to bed because you should be unconscious.
I
Do we
think
have-
Isa needs some
Why don't
sleepy
you want to
tea.
watch with me?
Your ass will go to sleep.
I don't know, because people go to sleep and then magically you're behind them. And it's creepy, man. It's just creepy. I did not consent to that.
Don't be a
you did-
dick and you won't get cuddled.
Anyways,
Don't be a dick and you won't get cuddled.
Cuddled.
Write that on a t-shirt, please.
I
That
don't.
is
I don't know.
jump on
If,
it, Kelly.
the worst threat I've ever heard in my entire life.
All right, who's
how are
taking
you
first
supposed
watch?
to positive reinforcement a bad action? Like,
I will
Okay,
take
so-
first watch.
So be
Alright.
a dick and I'll get cuddled. Okay.
No, we'll stay up with Tam for the first watch.
Okay.
Alright. I will let Snow take the roll with advantage.
Thank you, sir.
As Kelvin lays down, I'm going to take out a little bit of the water
No.
from the plant, and I'm going to cast Armor of Agathis and go to sleep.
And dice bounced off of each other. It was bad.
Ugh.
Oh my god, how long does that last?
An hour,
Oh my.
long enough to get into rest.
Long enough to
Nice
get in the
and
rest.
cool.
All
Yep.
right, I'll allow it. Snow, your watch with Tamriel goes, for the most part, uneventful. You are noticing a rapid temperature drop, and you definitely are, I would say, at this point, no, they wouldn't be out yet. No, you'd just be not a lot going on. You're looking around. You notice some kind of nightlife coming about, mostly like smaller creatures, probably coming out of a burrow they had. But the cold is coming in quick, it seems, here in this desert region.
Would Snow be more used to the cold of the desert at night, being close to the mountains, or the
Oh,
heat
yeah.
of the desert?
You're fine with the cold.
Okay.
I am going to pull my cloak tighter around me.
Okay.
Do you require any assistance keeping yourself warm?
If you build a man a fire, he's warm for a few hours. If you set a man on fire, he's warm for the rest of his life. So I think I'll be okay.
As you say this, you look over and you see Jude just kind of chuckling as he bundles up next to currently the cooking fire, and he just kind of bundles up next to it.
I appreciate the looking out, but I should be okay.
As you wish.
I would say also, Snow, with a 15, you would notice and you would pick up on that before he bundled himself up. Jude kind of got into one of the under compartments of his cart and pulled out these 2 large, heavy, kind of like burlap blankets and kind of threw them over the horses.
Read my mind, sir. Read my mind.
I knew it would be something Snow would think of, so I was like, oh shit, I better make sure I say something about it and not just think, yeah, Jude would do that. Well, if I don't say it, it doesn't happen.
Well, Snow appreciates it. Thank you.
Alright, who do you guys wake up next?
Second watch, I will use my lantern to try and keep a straight roll for perception.
Okay. Do you go by yourself? Just let Snow go to sleep? Don't wake anybody up?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Snow go to sleep. I'm gonna let everybody rest because I'm still mulling things over in my mind of why I can't trance. This has never happened before. I don't know if it's that I'm being blocked or that something's trying to communicate with me and I'm not picking up on it. Anything and everything.
I would say give me a. I'll need 2 rolls from you. I need your perception check, and I need an intelligence check.
13 perception, 23 intelligence.
23 intelligence. As you're mulling this over and thinking about it, you kind of start looking through your notes again, and recently some of it has once again become revealed to you as not gibberish, but actual writings and lessons, gaining you access to new arts. Along with that, you do come across some very select phrases scattered over, and this takes you your entire watch. Like, you're not so much your focus on this and denying your duties, but you're definitely, because you have to space it out, it takes your entire watch to find this.
Yeah. I'm reading a few lines and looking. A few lines and looking.
Exactly. You do come across kind of it's this cross-reference you find to the connection that elves have to the Feywild and their ability to, resist charm effects and be more mentally prepared to also fight off various things to put them to sleep with their natural connection to the Feywild. Even though an elf may never set a foot into the Feywild, they were just born with that connection to it. And thinking about that, you would probably a pretty safe bet that if this is the individual you are pinning it on, they may have temporarily shut off your connection to the Feywild. No matter how minute that connection is, the magic and the arcane in your blood to the Feywild that allowed you to resist charm effects and resist effects to put you to sleep magically could also intelligently be tied to your ability to trance and rejuvenate yourself through the magics of the Feywild in a shorter amount of time than what most creatures have to do with a full rest.
Stands to reason it could also possibly be what allowed her tea to put me to sleep.
Yes, seeing as that was not arcane methods but natural, that is why you were able to access to be put to sleep, because it was not by magic. It was by brewing and potioning and herbalism.
I would say at the end of my watch, I'm going to go wake Cathalia before I wake anybody else.
Okay.
And I'm going to kind of motion for her to step away from the rest of the group for a minute.
Like, pull my cloak on because I'm kind of cold.
It's getting pretty chilly.
I've got my hair down to stay warm.
I'm going to drape my cloak over top of her before I go curl up by the fire. But, I may or may not need your help trying to connect with a contact in the Feywild. I think Alyssa may or may not be cutting off my connection to the Feywild as a part of my elven blood. And that could be how she's stopping me from trancing. If it's her. I mean, it could be something else, but nothing else is making sense. This is a relatively recent thing. She hasn't done anything else, but if she thinks she can starve me out, exhaust me to the point that I will give up and allow something else to happen, I don't know.
If I see Jan, I'll ask her.
Because one Fae may be able to override what another Fae does. It's possible. Or at least Jan may know somebody strong enough to wrestle the control from Alyssa and keep it open for me.
She did seem concerned.
About?
She asked me how I felt after we killed the bear. And I said I felt normal. And she's like, that's not what's supposed to happen. And then she noticed my nail and she seemed very concerned about it, like almost like we're tainted, I guess. Mhm.
So I take it you don't serve Yon. She's some type
No,
of messenger,
she's kind of like an ally, I guess.
but she serves someone else. You serve someone else.
Yes.
Is it? Could she possibly set up a discussion with that person on our behalf if they're willing to meet with us?
I can ask. I don't even know what this person's name is.
It's worth a thought.
Um,
Anyway, I'm gonna try and trance, and if that doesn't work, I guess I'll try and nap. As weird as that is, gods.
well,
I
I
don't
hope you
even
get
know what
good
to say
rest.
anymore.
I feel like we might need it, especially.
Do what?
I said I hope that you get good rest because I
Huh.
feel like we're gonna need it being in a strange land like this.
Just, we'll need to stay hydrated. We'll need to stay clothed, despite the fact that you're gonna want to wear as little as possible. The sun's gonna do more damage if you're not. Better to wear loose layers than no layers. We're not built for this kind of weather.
No, we're really not.
And I'm gonna pull I'm gonna pull my cloak around her a little bit tighter around her, and then I'm gonna go lay by the fire and try and trance.
Okay. Third watch.
18.
All right.
Wisdom save. You right? You called for that earlier, yeah?
Yeah, give me a second.
Okay, that's fine.
That's good. It'll give me a second to write a couple things down.
18.
Don't forget.
18.
It's pretty good.
All right. Is that okay if I take third watch with you there, Cathalia?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Let me finish writing this down real quick before I
you're all good.
literally I will forget.
So Tam, as you're kind of heading off to the campfire, you watch as Isa begins kind of stirring and getting up and get ready for a watch.
It was good to rest. It's good it's cold again.
Yeah. Just keep an eye out for each other and look for anything that's gonna try and blend in.
Everything is
Predators.
new here.
Yeah, new.
Try not to worry and get some rest.
Yeah.
I know that's hard on you, or it's difficult for you to do, is to not worry, but you need to try.
There's no reason to be unsettled.
You live as long as I have, there's always a reason to be unsettled. It's whether you allow it to rule your life or not. And I will sit crossed legs by the fire to try and stay warm as I attempt to trance.
Okay. As you begin to get into that correct mindset and almost rebuild your... Now that you have time to think about it, you
Come up with a new plan of attack.
begin to reach toward what you would envision, and you probably never thought about this, about your actual connection to the Feywild and the gifts it grants for just being one of your stature, one of full blood of elven nature. And you can feel yourself inwardly. And you have some magical ability, not a ton. You have your cantrips. You know what it means to have arcane methods. You do your best to imagine yourself and then imagining a point away from you that is the Feywild. And as you have this picture in your head, you're doing your breathing and you're trying to slow your heart rate. you can actually begin to see this kind of verdant green strand slowly moving from the point that you have stated is the Feywild in your mind's palace. And it begins to reach towards you. And as your hand goes to reach out, you instinctually reach with your left hand. And as it goes to reach, you notice that the missing nail that was once there has regrown. And it is a slightly elongated, probably 1.5 to 2-inch long, bone black nail that when you go to reach for the thread, it actually cuts the thread. And you are pulled back into your body and your eyes snap open and you find yourself unable to reach that connection.
I have a new plan.
You say that out loud.
Yeah,
What plan?
a new experiment. If it works, I'll let you know. But for tonight, it looks as if I'll be the same type of elf your brother is, as I lay my head upon my pack and try and just fall asleep.
Okay. You were able to find natural sleep, mostly without issue. Your own mind probably keeps you awake for a little bit, but eventually you logically push yourself into unconsciousness. Thalia, Isa,
Yes.
perception checks.
Yo.
How do you want to do it, Isa?
I was told to make sure that you're safe, so you go ahead and see what you see.
So, advantage?
Yes. Actually, no, that would be a flat roll.
Great roll.
Okay.
You know what? I believe in you. I know you can do this.
Bardic inspiration.
Okay, so that's a...
He will roll his inspiration for you.
Okay. 23.
Whew.
Now that you need it.
I would also take it.
26.
26
Heck
total.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Cathalia, as you're looking around and you're noticing quite a lot, actually, for probably the first couple minutes, you're like, this is going to be boring. It's a desert. It's mostly flat and not a lot of high rising dunes. But just as you begin to have that thought, the clouds finally break. And what looks to be not a full moon, but it's getting close. It's probably about a couple days off, but the moon is almost totally full, reflecting light all across this glittering expanse of diamonds across the desert scape. Cool wind blows across the whole thing, kind of shifting some of the sands. And you're able to appreciate, and while you don't, you know tomorrow at the noon sun, you're going to hate this place. But in this moment, looking around with this little bit more colder wind going about, it's calm and comfortable. And it hits you that this is the absolute farthest you've ever been from home. A couple weeks ago, you were visiting the capital. You've done it before. Probably a couple weeks before that, you were in Rasso. A couple weeks before that, you were wondering what you would do with your life. And all the events that have led up to this and moved you forward and pushed and tugged and tried to break you, but you stayed together, mending a new family through the compatriots you see around you. Imagine what you'll know in a few more weeks. And as you look about, you can see little scurrying creatures here and there. And then what catches your eye off in the distance towards the direction of the capital is that it is, even at this time of night, there is still a visible light source held aloft, almost as if floating. You would think it was floating if you hadn't seen the building yourself just before the sun went down. But held aloft, who knows how high in the air, seems to be some sort of light source, gently twinkling like a close star.
Giant castle roll initiative.
And that's what you get with a 26.
Nice. Because I just look around at everything. I just kind of like that amazed catch of the breath type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then a nice little sigh, like semi-contentness. Some a little bit of worry.
Everything okay there?
Yeah. What is the furthest you've ever been from your home?
I saw a smile and leaning against whatever he's sitting on will put his hand on the ground and walk two of his fingers a couple of steps away. Exactly here's the furthest I've been away from home.
Same. And I like pulled both the cloaks up a little bit tighter. You know, like 2 months ago, I never would have thought that I'd be in Sivan. 2 months ago, my brother wasn't here. And 2 months ago, I didn't know you, Tam, Pyre, or Snow. But then now I'm here. Now. With everybody. This far away from home. And when I go back home, my parents will not be there. I will go back to a cold, empty cabin. Maybe to get some things, maybe to drop some things off. As much as I want to go home, I know I'm not going to stay. And I know Kelvin does not want to go home.
I don't mean to be rude by this, but why is that your home if you don't want to go?
Where I grew up. Where some of my friends are. It's familiar.
You sound sad about what's familiar. You sound happier about what you don't know.
I've always when Kelvin left, I did not want to stay home because I did not have my brother. So I started taking jobs helping people get from point A to point B. I learned to hunt. I learned to pick flowers and such to make tea to help people go to sleep for my mom. And I always felt content being everywhere else except for home where he was not. But some days, especially lately, I just want to be in my little cabin with my parents and my brother. And I want my mom's stew. I want to smell my dad's workshop again. But then I know I won't stay.
Then don't.
I visit. I mean, at least if I ever get tired of adventuring, I will have a place.
Sounds like you have your place. Again, I don't mean to be rude, but
I don't think you are.
everything you've talked about is something that you do, something that your brother does, which I have questions about that too, but I understand that those are, in fact, sensitive subjects for some people.
I just kind of look at him and smile. It's a long story. And when everybody is ready to hear it, I will tell it.
This place, and Ice will pick up some of the sand, is special.
How so?
The fact that it exists, that there's a place where you can be both hot and cold. It's a miracle to see it. The miracle to feel it.
Until we went to Greca, I had never been out of Thavia before. And I've seen the Green Line from a distance, but now it's really exciting. I hope I'll get used to the cold. It's definitely colder than it's ever been back home.
I wouldn't suggest it. The cold's no good for anyone.
Good for some. I'm sure it makes hardy people that are tough.
You may be right. With that, Ice will just get up and do a lap around the camp.
All right.
As he does, I'm just gonna like look to each of my companions and just literally think about everything we've been through.
Okay.
And then be a little bit sad and a little bit happy.
All right. As your watch comes to a close, who do you wake up?
Kelvin.
Okay. As you go to your brother, you can notice there's this. No, with a 20, we're going to carry you over your 26 because it's going to be fun. You get to your brother's tent that he set up, and you notice that there's an odd amount of like sweat around him. It's weird, like his clothes are damp, and no, I wouldn't say like soaked, not soaked, but definitely looks like he's been like misted.
I will worriedly wake him up because I think
Okay.
he's running a fever.
Okay. So I see you bed back down. Kelvin, as you are having whatever dreams that Kelvin has, you begin to be awoken by the shaking of something.
What? Huh?
Are you okay?
Yeah.
You look like you're running a fever. You're sweating and it's cold.
How do I feel?
You feel fine. You don't know what you're talking about. You should feel
So-
pretty comfortable.
Nice.
How are you sweating when it's so cold? If you're not sick.
I'm not.
It didn't answer my question.
I have questions too.
Well,
I'm gonna get up.
come out
Okay.
here and ask them.
Do I feel like I've been sweating or am I just wet?
You're just wet.
No. No, I'll clean myself up.
Okay.
See? See just fine.
You do your magic thing so that you're warmer.
No. I'm fine. When I hear warmer, can I look around the camp and actually see how other people...
I mean,
Yeah,
I
you
have
look
two
around.
clothes
You
on,
see, for the
so-
most part. I mean,
How does Pyre look?
Pyre's okay. She's
No,
probably under like.
as soon as the temperature drops, my body heat goes up, and it goes up.
She
So I'm
seems all
content.
right. You're used to seeing Pyre when she sleeps. She does have like a thin sheet. It's not like everybody else. Like Tam is pretty bundled up. I imagine Snow's okay. She probably has something moderate on. I would say for Jude.
I would have put my other blanket on top of Tam.
Jude's pretty bundled up. Isa. Seems to be in normal sleeping garments.
Yeah.
Do you not realize how cold it is?
It's not. Are you
Okay.
cold?
I am very cold. I have two cloaks on.
I'll take my blanket and I'll wrap her up as well.
Okay.
I have a winter blanket, so
All right.
I'll wrap her up. And then
You're
as
gonna-
I do, I
Teeny
will
tiny little elf with all of these cloaks and blanket on.
Essentially,
And as
yeah.
I do, I will
Arrow up out
actually
of that thing.
I will warm up the blanket.
I was gonna say, isn't that blanket also wet? Like,
Fuck,
Yeah.
It's
fuck,
gross.
just go
Well,
sit-
Blanket is
I look
pretty-
cold. I've got two cloaks on.
go
The
sit
blanket
I will
is
beside-
pretty.
try and warm
sit
up the
beside
blanket.
a
Okay, okay,
sleeping
okay, okay.
fire, and you'll be
Prestidigitation.
able to feel her body heat.
he said prestidigitation, the body sweat.
Dry it up and
Okay.
warm up the blanket.
How much of the blanket can you warm?
3 cubic feet.
Yeah. Okay. Blanket's warm.
Nice and toasty.
Because I can keep 3 non-instantaneous prestidigitations up at once.
Yeah. There you go.
For an hour, and then I'll do it again.
Okay. Go ahead and give me perception checks. Please. However you guys want to split that up.
How do you want to do this?
I'll leave that in your hands.
Jesus Christ.
God
Kelvin,
forbid
the
Kelvin
master
ever
of
make a decision.
decision dodger.
No, I'm
So
leaving
with-
the perception
with-
check in her hands.
Oh.
Okay.
Give me one singular perception check, please.
22.
That's
Ooh.
why.
Nice.
That's fair.
Well, I can't out-describe myself again, so insert previous description here. You are once again awestruck by the surrounding landscape about you, but for the most part, just to skip over anything like that, you don't notice anything. The weather seems to have broke. It's still rather cold. You're actually beginning to see your breath just a little bit.
Kind of nice here, other than the cold and the extreme heat.
Here's a fun question. As we see Cathalia's breath, do we see Kelvin's?
So 24. You don't see any breath in front of your brother.
Just stare at him.
Even still alive.
What's going on? Why are you looking at me like that?
Look at everybody. And look closely. You can see everybody's breath. You can't see yours.
Okay.
That's not normal, Kelvin.
I will breathe on her. I'm breathing, see?
I know you're breathing. You're talking to me.
Do you do that like that? Do you do like the deep or like a
Yeah, like a just a forced breath out, not a
Okay.
Is this breath warm or cold?
Because he's pushing the air out like that, like it's cool.
You are a very, very strange brother. I wouldn't have you any other way.
I don't know how else to be, so you're lucky.
I mean, pre-magic Kelvin was fun, but post-magic Kelvin's pretty awesome too.
I still don't know why I was chosen to have all these weird things happen to me.
Maybe it's in our bloodline. Somewhere way, way back. You know, elves have magic too.
I kind of zone out for a second when she says that. Yeah. Maybe in our bloodline.
How do you like it in Zyven so far?
I like it right now. During the day, it was hot.
Very hot.
Yeah. We'll get through it though.
You know, we
Kinda have
haven't
to.
really gotten to really talk since we've been reunited.
We've talked some. We've been very busy
Kinda.
too.
Yeah, we have. Did you miss home when you were gone?
Yeah. Scared me too though.
Because you thought you killed Luke.
Yeah. I thought you were coming to get me. That's why I thought I ran away from you.
Rosso is the last place I ever would have thought to run into you.
I had just gotten there the night before.
We did too. I think you
Wow.
came in later than we did.
It was pretty late when we came in. Weird place.
How did you meet Tam? I told you how I met Snow, but I don't think you told me how you met Tam.
I was walking through the woods and I was attacked and he was there and helped defend me. Oddly, it was goblins then too. I think there's something going on. Wow. Have you
You think
noticed?
he's summoning goblins?
No, I think he's got a problem though. Do we need to have a talk with him about this?
I mean, he needs to have lots of talks. But
I mean, not everything is bad just because.
no, not everything is bad.
He seems pretty set in his ways, and I don't know if that's always a good thing.
Well, he is old, so he might know a thing or two.
Yeah, but he's probably forgotten 3 of them.
Wow.
Get an awful lot of shit for somebody in range.
That was a
You're
sad
asleep,
man.
sir.
It's snore range.
Oh my god, I keep forgetting I'm unconscious. This is the worst.
You are passed to fuck out, dude.
I don't want to talk about it. This is the most degrading thing an elf has ever gone through. And I saw Lord of the Rings.
Any other conversations you two wish to have for the night?
Nah, I think I'm good if Kelvin's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
As the sun begins to come up, you notice before the sun comes up, right at that false dawn kind of time, that the temperature begins to shift noticeably quick. And as you start waking everybody up, getting everybody ready, knowing that you should probably get a jump on the day, considering how the weather is here. You kind of wake Jude up. He's, Thalia, good morning.
Good morning. Did you sleep well?
Because he sees he slowly stands, and this for the first time now that you've taken some time, you can see the age on his dragonborn form. Obviously not wrinkled, but you can definitely see like around the eyes and the end of the snout. You can see where there's some discoloration to the scales themselves. The pearl white that encompasses most of his body is just a bit duller in those areas. As he stands, you see him kind of stretch, kind of trying to roll his shoulders a bit, and that old man, oh gosh, I've been sitting for too long kind of stretch.
Before we got everybody up, I probably would have made coffee and I would have brought him some.
Okay, he takes it from you and holds it close to his snout. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Probably the next 30-45 minutes, everybody probably gets together pretty quick.
As
Jude.
Pyre gets up, she stretches and she's like, "Oh man, that was great." Oh, she looks at everybody all bundled up and she's
all
like,
bundled up, and you're like,
I'm
"Oh,
like,
this was a cloak I used yesterday."
I was like, why is everybody bundled up? We're in the desert.
It got a little
Because
bit chilly
not
last
everyone
night.
is a space heater.
And then Kelvin, who's also not bundled up. And I
Yeah.
don't think Isa is either.
No.
You guys are fucking weird.
Nope.
I'll have given
I still likes the
Kelvin
cold. Next time, just lay beside me.
Was that an
noted for
open
tomorrow.
invitation?
To keep
Pyre
you warm,
sandwich?
that's it.
That's not what I heard.
I'm Tam, you are not touching me in that way. Thank you very much.
I'll
I
have
will
given
break
Kelvin
your
his
hand
blanket
off.
back,
I am just gonna start laughing.
and then I'll give
I
Tam
think I'm
his
too
cloak
old for
back.
you.
Okay.
Thanks.
You keep saying that,
I'll roll it up and put it away.
Hey,
and I'll
Jude.
go get my stuff together.
Yes.
That's an idea, but you don't. You said you were a merchant. You don't happen to have anything for sale on your cart, do you?
I've got a bit. I wasn't completely cleaned out from the capital. What are you looking for?
Honestly? Can I buy some of your cooking spices? And if you happen to have it, possibly a healing potion or two?
Spices I do not have, but I have fantastic news for you. Matol is the capital of spice. They are the only capital closest to the ocean, so they get first dibs on what comes in. Aside from, those frozen ones in the north with their access to the river, but Matol is where you go for flavor and spice of life.
Oh god, that means we're probably gonna run into. And then she starts speaking in primordial as she remembers the caravan that passed by them, just like
Oh my god.
so frustrated.
No, they were going to right to Raitul or to Matol?
Tool, I thought.
They were headed to Raitul from
They
Matol.
probably still have a bunch
We won't
of
run
family.
into them.
No, but we'll run into their guards.
What caravan are you talking about? Is there another group that we should be worried about?
No, they were
we
just
met them
assholes.
on the outside of Draken. They were okay.
They were condescending assholes.
Sounds like somebody
And
else when he's
so
grumpy.
was their mother.
You watch as Jude kind of goes around to the other side that didn't have the 3 bows on it, and he kind of actually opens it up a bit, and you can see there's various shelves. There's there's like a dagger. There's other very simple weapons. There's probably a bundle of bolts, a bundle of arrows, and then kind of on the bottom there's a closed bit to where once he gets the doors all the way opened and locked in place outwardly, he kind of grabs these 2 little metal iron handles that are kind of bolted into the wood, and he slowly pulls out this cascading down like shelf, and as he pulls it, you can see everything in there is in a vial laying flat, but as he pulls it out by about 5 or 6 inches, he kind of brings it down, and everything shifts down like a shelf almost, and all the vials are rotated to be upright. You can see there's a lot of things missing. There's a couple of potions. Make a perception check. Anybody that's wanting to pay attention to this.
I will.
Seems like fun.
You said
Just
perception?
kidding.
Perception.
I'm still waking up.
Tam, you're still waking up. You're kind of really taken back about the sheer carpentry that went into making such a device that could kind of lay flat and then be pulled down to like a 45-degree angle and rotate everything upward.
Kelvin doesn't care, so he's not even looking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I say for what you can notice is there seems to be a lot of things missing. You're not sure if maybe he just doesn't keep it fully stocked or did he sell everything. You do see a couple of familiar looking colors of potions. You see 2 that appear to be red, kind of what you're looking for. The rest, there's probably 1 or 2 of design you're not aware of. Cathalia, what you notice is that outside of the 2 red colored potions that seem to have a bit of like this glittering material floating throughout it, you do see 3 other potions. One is of this bluish hue. It looks more like water, but just actually blue colored. It's runny. It has that viscosity of water. The other one, you notice that as the shelf rotates down and the vials are rotated to be upright, you watch as whatever liquid is inside the other 2 that are kind of side by side, there's this yellow, like almost like mud or molasses. And you watch as the vials turn upright, you can see this liquid just kind of gloop.
Those look interesting.
Here. And he kind of holds up the 2 vials and holds them over to Isa. My last 2 before I had to, I was already on my way to restock, but the last 2 I have.
What are those? I don't think I've ever seen them before.
Are you pointing to the yellow ones or the ones he has in his hand?
The yellow ones.
Those? You can see he kind of struggles with words for a minute before he make a persuasion check.
19.
19. God bless, guys, with the rolls. 19. Pardon my hesitation. They are known for, should you consume one, you will become, how do I word this? Faster. Not only in your abilities to run, but your combat prowess seems to be sharpened, enhanced. You can move quicker. Some say it helps them to swing their weapons a few more times than usual, or in your case, let loose an extra arrow or two when before they could not.
It's really neat.
Ooh.
What else do you have?
Did you not want the healing potions?
I'm one to shop around. I'd like to know what you have. I'd love to
Okay.
maybe purchase more.
And he
You've
kind
been
of
such a
sets,
kind host.
he sets those kind of off to the side. You can see there's one little area that has just like 6 empty vial holding like sockets, and he sets them there. You can tell that's probably where he stages things for customers. And he looks over his inventory left over, and he grabs the kind of the bluish liquid one and kind of shakes it a bit. Well, this one would not be useful for you per se, but perhaps someone else in the party or the rest of you might. Drinking this infusion would allow you to shrug off extremely frigid effects, be they arcane or natural, probably for about an hour.
Very interesting. Do you have anything else of any intrigue? You're a fine fellow. I wouldn't hesitate to believe that you don't carry curiosities and goods that are a little bit harder for the average Joe to have.
He kind of looks over his stock a bit and turns back to you. Fortunately, aside from the 2 bows remaining on the other side of the cart, what I have is here. I was very lucky in the capital of the Thavia region. Ratul was quite kind to me.
Well, then, what would you like for the lot of them?
Of the potions?
Yes.
Give me just a minute.
As well as the arrows.
While they're talking price stuff, I'm gonna go start getting things cleaned up and packed up and stuff.
Okay. One second while I research the prices. I don't keep this in my brain.
You're
Has
good.
it already started to get hot?
Yes, it's not hot yet, but you can definitely feel in the last especially because you were on watch, from where you were when you first started watch to now, the temptation to take off clothing is getting real.
Now you know what I deal with for a different reason.
As he's figuring it out, I'm gonna clamp a hand onto his shoulder and just be like, "Hey, Jude, don't make it a bad price. You know, we've already spent some time together. You know, sometimes you just gotta take that sad moment that happened, that sad song, and make it better."
I'm gonna
Just like
upcharge
that,
you
the
now.
price is
Been
triple.
waiting.
Never go for the obvious. It's always a trap.
All right.
God,
I'm
that
gonna
was
go.
like a mimic of conversations.
I'm gonna go sit down, and I'm gonna comb out my hair. I'm gonna I'm gonna do like a big braid to where it's not on my neck, and I'm gonna twist it and put it up. That way, I'm not nearly as hot. And yes, I'm gonna put that on my braid counter because I know Yeet's listening. I look over at Kelvin. Do you want me to put your hair up?
Do what?
I look over at my brother and ask him if he wants me to put his hair up, or if he's good.
Mine is always ready to go.
Pyre comes up to Cathalia. Do you have a rag or a cloth or something?
I might. Let me dig through my backpack here.
That's unfortunate.
No. No.
Well, if you have cloth, wet it a little bit, put it on top of your head. It'll keep your head from overheating. You guys aren't built for this.
No, we're not.
You know, Jude, you're an inspiration for the ways that I would just never choose to be.
Oh, fucking bards. Spire walks away, rolls her eyes and walks away.
I'm gonna look over at Tam. Do you want your hair up?
Mine, thanks.
Okay.
Do the cloth thing that I told Cathalia.
After a minute of the DM doing calculations, Jude will look at you.
And bitch slap you for that. Horrible, horrible.
And he will just be like, for the lot of these potions, 3,600 gold.
Now, Jude,
Oh, God.
I'm sure that we can be businessmen here. You're a man of sense. I'm a man of sense.
You're a man of something, alright.
It's not like you've killed someone. But you're hurting me here, Jude. We showed up in your time of need, and like a friend that you didn't know you had, you called upon us to help you. And we were there. We offered you the protection that you needed when you needed it. And now you're gonna stiff me, a friend, on price like this?
Roll a persuasion check.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, that felt dirty.
I would say I would give him my D20, but I'm kind of curious how this is gonna play out. Oh my
Holy
god!
shit.
You motherfucker.
Tam, take notes.
Do that. It's not in my wheelhouse.
That's the reason why you need to write in that journal.
Come on, I got a Beatles song and a Perfect Circle song in there.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a natural 20 for a total of 30 on a perception check at level 6.
Persuasion.
Yeah.
On a persuasion check at level 6.
I come to you as a friend on this, the day that after I've met you. And this is how you do me.
oh God, what? You're still laying it on.
Can I give Jude my D20?
No.
How about this? Since we are such good friends, Jude, you gift
How
us.
about this? How much gold do you have on you?
Be honest, I got like 100 gold on me. If you can hook me up with one of the health potions and the yellow one.
Your group seems rather capable. How about a deal? Both of the health potions. One of these, and he places both the health potions and one of the potions of the yellow molasses next to it.
Okay.
For your 100 gold. And you accompany me the rest of the way to the capital and back to Raitul to ensure my safety.
I'm gonna turn back to the group. You guys wanted to go back to Raitul after this, right?
Not really.
We have
No,
things
we had
to
other
pick up.
plans.
We have things to pick up.
Yeah, to Raitul then, right?
I mean, it's not the original
Like to
plan,
persuasion
but-
my whole party with my silver tongue of to Raitul then, right?
How
Well,
long will we be in Matol?
You use that disguise kit on me.
How about this? We will definitely take you to Martul, or to Matul, and then as soon as the party dictates that it's time to separate, we will separate at that time.
Dude, how long are you needing to stay in Matol?
Well, I've got a contact to reach out to, see if a shipment's ready. Could be a couple days, could be a couple weeks. Depends what's arrived and what's scheduled to arrive from the ocean.
Do we need to stay with you the whole time in Matol?
No, I can be safe in the capital. But when I am ready to leave, how can I be assured you'll be there to escort me back to Raitul?
You can keep him, and I'll point to Isa.
We do need to go back to Raitul to pick up some things at some point. I look at
Well-
Pyre. It's important. We already paid for those things.
Where- Where are you guys going? After
I
you
just kind
To a scumbags
of
named Willie.
kind of like play
Why
with
you
my
hate him?
earring.
He's not. He didn't snitch you out.
No, it was just added on to my sentence too. I'm pretty sure. They
No,
tried.
But
They
you both are
tried.
that would
here
charge
They
now.
tried. They tried.
You both are here now. And that's the important part. But we do need to go back to see Willie. Because we already paid for those things. And they will help us.
Yeah, go see Willie as she's cracking her knuckles. Yeah.
You can stay out of the shop.
That's probably the best thing.
We should probably stay out of the city, most of us.
One or two can go in.
Ultimately, I see it this way. If we have to stay a week, Braxton just told me I need to spend a little time out of there. So,
Well, it's been a couple.
I should probably talk to Alyssa's sister too.
if we have to stay a week here, that might add to more time, and maybe that'll make a difference.
We'll figure everything out when we get back to Raitul.
Perhaps. If our business is concluded, we should get moving.
One time,
Yes.
I actually
Jude will
want
extend
magic.
his dragonborn claw towards you, Isa.
Isa will take his hand.
He shakes your hand, and while gripping onto your hand, he reaches over with his left hand, grabs the 3 vials, and passes them to you.
Thank you for that. Good to have friends, Jude. I'm glad we're friends.
If he says friends one more time.
Jude will pack up his stuff, and then probably about 20-30 minutes, he's ready to head out.
I will pack up the 2 health potions, and walking past Snow, I will throw the 3rd one at her.
Does Snow see this coming?
Yeah, I'm not chucking it at your skull.
I'm just making sure.
I'm not fastball
No,
special.
go along.
After everything that he just gave away, I hope this thing breaks.
He uses minor illusion to make like a laser point dot right in front of her, like makes it spin around a little bit, trying to get her attention. No, he tosses the vial to Snow.
What have I just been handed? It's like a potion of haste or something?
It is a potion of haste.
Cool.
It will last for 1 minute, and then I'm sure it's in D&D Beyond, so...
Yeah.
There you go.
I believe it's called a potion of speed.
Yeah, we'll do that one.
That's not a liquid. I'm sorry.
You're not wrong.
All right.
You just gotta cut it with some water.
As he tosses it to Snow, this is only the beginning of the apologies that I extend to you, especially you more than the rest of these guys, as instead of even trying to help your people, I was too shocked at what I was witnessing in Greca that I owe something to you.
He just gives him a nod and puts it away.
Okay. All of you get your things together, head out on your day's travel. Without issue. As you get closer towards your goal, the party is met with a sight unlike any other. Viewing this large stone city for the first time, you would think you've gone mad from the heat. An impossibly tall center tower surrounded by hundreds of buildings, all tapering lower and outward from this one singular beacon of hope. The sand had been conquered and placed into bricks. Where open dunes had once laid an unbridled claim to this land, the crown jewel of the Zyvan region had dared to stand against the endless sand. Bustling with merchants from all walks of life and trade, the city thrives off of goods that are traveled to and from the shore and mainland routes. Such a city, however, is not without its faults. As the party pushes into the open gates of the sand and the brick, the streets are covered with things. People, stalls, trinkets, shouting their wares, everything from daggers to spices, and anything in between. The roads, also of sand and brick. As Jude maneuvers his way throughout it, you can see in the middle of this giant city the largest and tallest of the spires in the very center. At the very top of it, capped in what must gold, bronze, you're not sure. But all around you, in these bricks made from the sand around in this area, there is color. Vibrant, erratic color. Reds, blues, purples, greens, yellows, ribbons and banners strewn across everywhere. Like every day was the summer solstice here. It is a vibrant, bustling city. It is a merchant city. There is constant sounds of wares being peddled, arguments being had, deals being made. The sun coming up and over, all of you taking your precautions that you had planned the night prior. The city of Matol is yours, wild cards, as Jude begins to make his way through. Slowly coming to a stop, probably after about 10, 20 minutes of kind of giving you, like, you kind of notice he gives you a bit of like a tour almost, before he does stop at a kind of an open area which has this kind of a courtyard fountain in the middle of this large kind of conjunction of 4 or 5 streets. And you can see in one corner where he has stopped, this kind of larger, well-built structure kind of has this hanging sign, and it says Merchant's Respite. You see Jude kind of get off and tie their horses up a bit. Well, this is where I'll be staying until my business concludes and I'm restocked.
Well,
Can
thank you
stay
for the
where
ride,
you
Jude.
wish. And he kind of thinks for a moment. You see kind of this, kind of almost like this defeat in his persona a bit as he kind of rummages through his pockets and pulls out looks to be a pair of stones. And he hands one to Isa. When I'm ready, you will know.
Very well.
Now, if you don't mind, I have to go haggle. And you see as he almost begrudgingly begins to head into this building.
So, what do you guys want to do? Also, while we're here, if you don't mind, I'd really like it if you called me Lee Tam Wands. Just in case, okay?
God, are
stick
you
with
wanted here
Lee.
too?
It never makes much sense for just one man to go around and spread joy and cheer to people. You make a lot more money when you're a new name in town.
God damn it, I've never hated your voice more in my entire life than I do right now.
Pyre, like, just real quick, because while she's walking
Okay, so when we
there-
got in here, what does Isa look like?
He looks like a hunched over, probably about 4 inches shorter, light blue tiefling with curly Q horns and like a pencil thin mustache.
My
How good
God.
is guys?
What is it with you and tieflings?
You wouldn't know it was him, and the only reason why you know that it's Isa is because you know that it's Isa because you watched him put it on.
What is it with you and tieflings?
Pyre, while she's walking
Is
in,
it a fixation?
ultimately Isa has ultimately decided to hire her on as this dude's bodyguard, so she goes into bodyguard mode, like she's just paying attention.
Okay.
She's got a straight face, she's in work mode.
Just this big fuck off iron fucking greatsword on her back.
And she, like, as soon as he says that and Jude leaves, she looks at him and she's like, Yeah, I'll call you that. But
I'm
Yeah.
calling
listen
you
here.
we because I'm not going to
But
remember any
listen
of that.
here. I get me jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, look, you do what you gotta do for you.
And then she kind of walks past him and, kind of shoulder checks him a little bit.
Is there... Okay, Brandon, do you remember that conversation we had a while back about the thing I wanted to do?
Which thing?
The thing I wanted to buy.
No. Shoot me a message.
All right. Discord or other?
Discord, I've got it right here.
Okay.
What's everybody else doing?
Keeping an eye on who's watching us.
Okay.
Probably fucking everybody, because Pyre is in
okay.
bodyguard mode with a fucking iron sword and she's a fire genasi. Just look like she's about to beat somebody's ass.
Oh my god, you're not special.
I'd say Cathalia. You're in a city known for its merchants. It is the hub of merchants. You could probably find anything here.
I'm going to look at Snow and ask Snow if she wants to come with me. I have something I need to look at, but it's a surprise. But
For
I don't want
who?
everybody... Don't worry about it.
Oh, that's just gonna make me worry more. But whatever.
At least I'm not going by myself.
I appreciate that.
Noah will kind of turn her head to the side, but reaches back, pulls her hood up over herself, and moves to follow Cathalia.
Okay.
Where should we meet up with you guys in a while, hopefully? Here? An inn?
Where? We don't know the city.
I don't either, but I have something I want to get.
Yeah, let's meet at an inn. Which one? Sure, that one.
Christ.
We can start by meeting back here, hopefully.
Alright, let's meet back here in, say, 2 hours.
Probably perfect.
Oh yeah, it totally looked like we could navigate this giant city in 2 hours.
You know...
Come on, boys. Let's have some fun. We're here. We're having fun. It's going to be great. You're not gonna have to worry about anything at all.
Fire's already gone.
Okay.
Voice is going to be the death of me.
It's only for as long as we're in this city.
Alright. Cathalia, Snow, I'll get to you two in a bit. Pyre, you break off to go do Pyre things, I'm guessing.
She's gonna go talk to somebody to find an inn.
Okay. Isa, Kelvin, Tam.
I'm gonna go a different direction to talk about an inn.
Okay. Kelvin, Isa.
So as I see Pyre and Tam kind of like both break off in different directions to do their own thing, it's like, yeah, everyone stick together. All right, cool. 4 people have gone off to do their own thing. That's awesome. Do you know this city at all? I'll just turn to Isa. Do you know this city?
Like the back of my hand.
Yes, that's a no.
Watch. Let me show you. And I will walk up to the first guard there is that I see.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Excuse me, sir, madam, thing, or it, because you didn't tell me what they look like.
The first guard you see looks to be this human male, kind of clad in lighter leathers, kind of a short sleeve tunic, more of like a, probably even like cut off like at the knee trousers, and then a sheathed short sword, and this kind of a shield. He's holding he has his shield out and ready, but he's not like actively holding it around, but he's looking about, kind of sees you approach. Yes.
Oh, Watch, I know how to talk to these ones. So, my dude, so me and my partner here, we're trying to get around your place, and you got a map?
No.
Live here.
No, I can get a map?
Probably a general store. Crazy old man.
No, that was just hurtful.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. My friend hit his head. We just need a place to rest it off tonight. Is there anywhere that we can go that's inexpensive that we can sleep tonight?
How inexpensive you looking?
As cheap as possible.
That would probably be... You want to head to the southern region. It's where most of the common folk live. Probably a nice bar or tavern down that way for you.
Could you just point us in the easiest direction? Awesome. And I'll be like, and I'll just start going that direction.
Okay.
Now,
come on.
I'll grab Kelvin's shoulder. Now, hold on, Kelvin. This gentleman here, what he really meant to say was he would be more than happy to escort us to the nearest comfortable inn where we may be able to stay.
That is not what he said. Let's go.
The guard turns away from you.
Battle of the persuasions.
Come on.
Kelvin.
I know your head hurts. Let's go.
Kelvin.
Yes.
On your way through the various market districts you and Isa will be passing through, I need you to give me a perception check.
Also, that's my name, sir. It's Lee Tam Wands.
Perception, you said?
Yes.
God.
14.
13. 14. That'll get you there.
I would also, as we're walking, Tam, do I see them? Are they in sight? Can I call them and be like, we're going this way?
At this point, you don't see anybody that you notice, that you would know. You see plenty of people, but you do not see your party members anymore. Everyone has split off. It is you, and it is Lee Tam Wands.
Please don't be panic-stricken. Please don't be panic-stricken.
As you're walking through these streets, you're seeing various vendors, some, metal workers, leather workers, gems, jewels, carvings from all over, trinkets, amulets. As you're walking, you kind of look to your left real quick, and hanging from one of the stalls, you see what looks to be this mostly like wooden and hempen necklace with the centerpiece probably about that big, made entirely of what looks to be just some kind of deep wood, and painted with in red. You see what looks to be as the shape there, you see in the top of it this kind of fully red circle with 3 lines kind of coming off of it like that. And when you look at this, something in your brain triggers. And I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
I'm amazing at these, by the way. That's a 3.
Oh my god.
3.
Yes, that's a 3.
As you look at this, in your vision as Kelvin, reality itself ashes away. And as it ashes all around you, you can feel yourself unmoving, but yet pulled somewhere else. And as everything simply blows away, it is instantly replaced directly behind that ash with a field of grass before you. All around you, green grass. Not but later in the day than what it is now. Just before evening, you see this vision of a field of just bodies. Human, elf, orc. You see tents not too far off, burning, most of them toppled over. And as you look to the one tent still standing, you can vaguely... Give me a perception check, please.
19.
As you look, you focus, and you can see an outline of a humanoid figure holding some kind of weapon off to his right side. And you watch as this symbol you have seen is just erratically glowing over the tent. You're not sure if it's actually glowing or if that's just the anchor of the memory over the tent, but it is loud without noise, if that makes sense. Like almost jostling. And as the figure tears open the tent, Isa, you watch as Kelvin's body just hits the dirt, unconscious.
Shit, can I try and catch him?
That's where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Whoa, man.
Bum ba-na-na-na.
Well, shit the bed.
Don't worry,
Yes, you
you'll
did,
use
sir.
the rest of
Yes,
the
you did.
station to clean it back up.
Brandon, I do have a question.
Yes.
Could mine and Snow's thing be off stream?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll fill her
Absolutely.
in as here in a little bit.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
really wanted an Isa and Kelvin drinking montage of us going around and
We'll get
Just
there
have it-
eventually. Now you just
having-
get to spoon him while he's passed out.
having a good old prank war.
Yes, but is that us pranking each other or trying to upstage each other pranking other people?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I think it would start off as the pranking each other until it was like the... Alright, well now we gotta step it up.
Oh my gosh. Well, to all of
Mess
you...
with Pam more.
To all of you who have joined us for this stream, thank you so much for being here. We hope you enjoy this lovely story we're telling with these crazy people at my table who are absolutely fantastic, and I love them all very much. Quick recap on announcements. At the first of the year, starting January 4th, we'll be putting Hive Mind in detention, and school is in session for the universe of D&D. So I look forward to hosting that with my good friend, Knight Bishop. We're going to do our best to be mentors, teachers, instructors, trainers, to get anyone that may be having questions about D&D or interest in it, to getting you confidently proficient to sit down at the table and just dive deep into this lovely game that all of us love. So until we see you here next Wednesday, I just can just say, please be safe, take care of each other, and have fun this next week. I'll see all of you Wednesday.